Chris, how is your pee break?
My pee break?
They might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. What is up, everybody? We are back, baby. And for better or worse, I don't have any snazzy A-listers or celebs like in my intro. But guess what, bitch? I'll do you one better. Because Talk to Me Taylor's in the house tonight. You're like, hey, nobody asked. It is just little old me tonight as we make our return from our 2-day hiatus. But it is going to be worth it because, guys, I am on the heels of molding the minds of young America. Somebody trusted me to speak to a group of college kids in a lecture at a college tonight that I just got done with molding the minds of these young hopefuls. And it actually perfectly goes into this episode today because this is going to be a really fun mix of anecdotal stories. I had a crazy adventurous weekend out in LA with some movers and shakers between the college class I just imparted wisdom on, or at least I hope, and for you guys to really take home, because, you know, I always have to bring it to you, the peoples. You know, we the people got to make some sense of this bitch up in here. When it comes to living in the past, the present, and dare I even say the future, and how we navigate. And not only that, you know, not that I'm like Tony Robbins with titties or anything, but I'd like to think I just gave the teacher of this class said I definitely gave them a pep talk, a little pep in their step that they needed. So I'd like to give you guys some motivation as well. It's probably advice. You know, it's like I wish I could take my own advice that I could use, but in your endeavors, you know, whether it be in this world of media or crypto, if you're a GNN OG or whatever it is, your own dreams, right? Because I think that we're all a little bit lost in the sauce with the frontier of AI upon us. I saw a huge comedian talk about it today, and I'm going to reference that. Again, how we navigate, how you absorb this world, as it's all very confusing. Again, the future is upon us and it's here, and how you make your mark in that world. So we're getting deep today on a Tuesday, you know, but how you really pave your path in it without getting lost in it or living in the past. Like sometimes I'll admit I do. So if all of that mumbo jumbo made sense to you, this is a little bit jerry rigged and raw dog today. Here are my scribble scrabble notes as usual. Yes, on my personalized Taylor stationery, and let's get right to it. So the college class, I feel like this really kind of sets the stage for the episode today because they're all hopeful. They were very sweet and so pure, and very, you know, innocent in wanting to pursue red carpet celebrity reporting. Now, I could tell it how it is, but I ain't going to have the heart to tell them that the world is not only, I don't want to say it's obsolete, but is changing drastically. And I did say, guys, like really think about your why and your vision, because celebrities are really out of touch. It's all changing. When I started, even with the selfie interviews you saw in the beginning here, it was before J-Lo or whoever was on their Instagram, like crying about, you know, their infinity pool being broken that day. Like it's all changing, right? So I gave him a dose of realism, but really inspiring them as well. And for me, again, as I reevaluate everything, and I'm sure you guys as well, again, no matter what you're pursuing, no matter what your goals or dreams or hopes, again, that push and pull of the past and future, right? Because I'm talking to this class and it's sort of that personified. It's sort of living in the past because they're asking me about, working for these trad media, legacy media outlets, like in Us Weekly, a Hollywood Reporter, a New York Magazine, right? And we all know that they're kind of they're just losing their grip, right? So that's the old, but also the new, because they are the new wave, and they ask all about having the balls to create my own brand in that climate, and risking it all. Like, I was kind of double dipping. As you guys saw my intro here, I was on assignments for these big established outlets, but unbeknownst to them, doing my own thing with my own selfie stick platform and interviews, right? So they asked me all about kind of going for it, against all odds. And I'm going to bring it all back to that in the end. What I told them, and what wisdom I had to impart on these young souls. God help their souls. No, but I did get a little bit of tough love today. I did. Again, this is like the combination of like the Not So Princess Diaries and commentary on social media culture, AI, all of it, technology that maybe nobody asked for. I don't know. We will find out. So it's a little bit of everything here, a little anecdotal, a little personal. I don't know. Y'all may or may not have asked, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So I did get a little bit of tough love today from a mentor, because I was prepping for this lecture, this talk, and a big part of it was really kind of inspiring them and instilling in them, again, to have a vision and to be forward thinking. But part of that was really kind of drilling into their heads, again, trying to kind of get them away from the legacy media outlets and to more toward like doing their own thing. And again, that idea that now is cool. Like, nobody cares what celebrities are wearing or about their latest like, nobody cares, right? Which I was on to 10 years ago, hence creating my selfie stick site. But moreover, people want cultural translators. They want commentary. They want something really, I hate this word because it's so whitewashed, but authentic and unique, and diving into peeling back the layers, diving into media narratives, hypocrisies, big topics, gender, censorship, cancel culture, whatever it is. So I was having a little pity party today. Like, it's my party, and I can cry if I want to, even if I'm in like short shorts, like Richard Simmons himself, may he rest in peace, and doing my workout like to my own pity party. And I said to my mentor in prepping for this lecture, again, this is where it's at right now. And this is what I did, being privy to all this, 10 years ago with my selfie stick site, and just feeling like, it's really cool to be ahead, but also really annoyed. And I'm not saying this to just like toot my own horn, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate as well, right? It's sort of like, all right, like, we've been here. We've been at where have you all been? Thanks for catching on, 10 years too little too late, JoJo. Too little too late. God, no one wants me to sing. Okay. And, again, I was like, now it's the cool thing. Now everyone's, at the time, it was the really stiff, produced, glossy, fancy, camera crews and all this. And I was like up in their face. And now, again, that's a cool thing, right? You have like all these influencers who have all their unique kind of spins and commentary, whether it's that Haley girl, like that hot redhead girl who goes on the red carpets and fangirls with celebrities, like the quote every girl. Whether it's like my girl Dumois, who's a friend of mine who does blind items, has a huge platform, right? But again, now everyone peeling back those layers of like the shiny celebrity fake facade that nobody cares about. Now it's a thing. So I was complaining a little bit, being like, oh man, like, okay, now it's a thing. I know it's been 10 years, I've been doing this, like what? And my mentor said to me, he gave it to me straight up. He gave it to me straight up, y'all. He was like, you're living in the past. You're going to get bulldozed every time if you're continually living in the past. Like, either live in the present or be in the future. And I think that's why I'm a little bit like bitter about it, because it's like I have it, like even the selfie stick concept was again before TikTok, before we saw this like raw dog style really in your face, like you're sitting right there, like it was before all that. Hell, even my show Cancel Me Baby, one iteration of Talk to Me Taylor, again, like 5 years before cancel culture, like everybody was airing out and mocking how ridiculous it was, right? So I think I had this chip on my shoulder of like, okay, I've been ahead. And like, are we pulling a Marty McFly or a Doc? Like, what's happening here? Because like, I'm waiting for everybody to catch up now. But I get it. It's like constantly looking forward in the future, because it's true. Like, your ass will be grass in this tidal wave that is the John Deere tractor of time that is moving. So he did. He gave me some tough love, being like, quit living in the past. I was like, all right, I'll take it. I can take, a blonde can take constructive criticism. But alas, that is only, so far. That only goes so far because, again, per this episode, right? It really, all of this has me thinking past, present, future, everybody chasing what everyone else is doing and what is even really original anymore. Like, name for me one thing. I'll wait. No, but this weekend, I was a little crazy gal because, again, I just do not give any fucks anymore. Hence, like what I say on the show, how I do things. Like, I've been trying for 10 years to so carefully curate how I do things and protect it. And I'm just like, I do not give a single shit anymore, not even half of a shit. So on a whim, I flew out to LA to meet with somebody who I had literally met in DMs like 2-3 weeks prior. And this guy is a really young, successful show host himself, producer, photographer, all this, right? And so he was like, come out to LA, we'll knock out content, do some strategy. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I may be residing in your rape van. I don't know, but like, let's go. What do I have to lose? So he had, and I totally respect this guy, right? But his whole thing and his whole philosophy is about playing the game. And y'all know I have a personal vendetta against the algorithm. It was what my first premiere Substack was about. Like, basically, get so far fucked, I don't even care. Like, you do not exist to me, because the algorithm to me is completely arbitrary. It's designed by who gives a shit. And to me, it is the complete antithesis to being real, doing your thing, being original. And it's like, you're not going to tell me, like, and even if it's gotten in my own way, like, this guy's whole thing is like, you have to play the game. It is all smoke and mirrors. Like, you have to do the algorithm thing of in the first 3 seconds, say this and do this and knock out short form like this and this and this and this. So you get 500,000 views on this. And in my head, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, to me, it's all just such a show and pony dance. And I will be damn, bitch. Like, how about fuck off? Not to him, but to this whole ethos and this whole philosophy. Because I just can't be bothered. It just feels so fake. And even, it's like, what? Why? I'm going to go like, okay, in the first 3 seconds, have this image and then spin on your head and then order a cheesy gordito crunch and say this to trigger the algorithm. Like, for what? For what, bitch? Now, obviously, that could have gotten in my way thus far. Like, people are like, why are you taking the path of more resistance? Like, just make it easier for yourself. Everybody knows that it's a game. And I'm not just saying this to like vent to you guys and to make you my high school guidance counselors, but to also, again, think for yourself in how you navigate the information and the videos that you take in, and B, what you put out. Like, if you are chasing these numbers, this clout, this, and I told this to the class, like, so is everybody else. So sure, maybe it's gotten in my own way and everyone's like, you need to just play the game. But I'm like, how about not, bitch? How about not? And so if I am getting in my own way and it's going to take me however much longer, then so be it. At least I have my pride at night and, my starving artist self-esteem. No, but it's true. And I told the class that. I was like, guys, everybody's chasing. Like, I said to them, if there's one thing you can take away from this, it's A, vision, which we're going to get to, but B, don't give a fuck about the numbers because everybody else is chasing them too. So I said, at the end of the day, like, if you, and guys, this applies to you, whatever your little heart desires, like whatever it may be. If you bring your dream to fruition, ideally it would reach millions, but say it doesn't. Say it reaches a fraction. Okay, but like, isn't it worth it though? Like, if you were able to see your dream to fruition, that's what it should be about, regardless of, the numbers. Again, of course, the more impact, the more ideal, of course. But it's like, if you have to sell yourself and do all this bullshit, like, is it worth it? Like, is it even you? Like, what do you care more about? So another interesting conversation I had was with Larry Namer, who was on my show last week, who was the founder of E. Larry and I hung out for a bit when I was out in LA. Again, adventurous, like, mind voyage of the century, as I backpack my way through like Culver City. And Larry, who's a total visionary, again, he created E. Now, E network may be becoming more obsolete now, but it was one of the handful of networks that were worldwide, that were getting millions of, like, it changed the game. It changed pop culture on the whole, what he did. So he's a complete visionary. And even now, he's already looking ahead, looking at different markets, at verticals like Web3, if you know, you know. And he said to me something so interesting. He was like, it's not, he's like, people are I'm going to Taylor-splain it, but he's like, basically people are like doing the most to be really extra and come up with these crazy ass ideas when all you have to do is take something that is tried and true and that worked and put a fresh spin on it. And I really thought about that because it's sort of like, I'm like Goldilocks, you know, like it's never quite right. Because on one end of it, so much, and I'm sure you guys see this too, taking into content feels so gimmicky. And it's like to what end? Like the girl who interviewed Drake in bed, right? It's like, I always say the quicker you go up, the quicker you come down. And it was a really good gimmick, but what is it rooted in? Like, what's it rooted in? So I'm always definitely skeptical of the gimmicks because I'm like, if your shit is good, like it's good, you know? But then what he said also got me thinking because I'm like, is everything just regurgitated? Because obviously we know we live in a world, that's why everybody's in the matrix for the most part, right? That rewards the status quo. Get a 9-to-5, white picket fence, do this, and then you're dead, bitch. Like, I don't know what to say, but it's like you're rewarded because you know what? You got a 401k and my ass doesn't. I'm just saying. Same thing with the creativity and all of this. And, you know, it's like, all right, here's my thought. Actually, I'm going to save it for the end because it ties into what the bow that I wrapped, these Santa sleighs for Christmas that came early to my main message for these college kids of like what I personally think the sweet spot is, right? Of like coming up with something like so obscure and different because now there's no barrier to entry. Now everyone and their mom is a podcaster, influencer, whatever it is, right? But also, so it's like the new and the different and out of the box, but also like marrying that with the old, so to speak. And I have a hard time with this too, because there's something sort of, while of course, like I tip my hats to and hope to be like, the visionaries and the forward thinkers. There also is something beautiful about nostalgia and about traditionalism. I don't want to say about living in the past, but there's something pure about that and beautiful, right? Even when you think about the Woody Allen movie. Yes, I said Woody Allen. Okay, sue me. Okay, can't knock his creative, can't knock his genius, even if his marital choices are questionable. But Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson. And that the Owen Wilson character really kind of like struggles with that, like living so much in the past and with all of these creative geniuses. And I'm not going to give away the movie. It's so good. And if you don't know it, like get out from under your rock, but so good. And I so identify with that and relate to that. Another one is I'm doing just all kinds of silver screen Tinseltown references today. But La La Land and Ryan Gosling's character, who is obsessed with old school jazz and wants to like make a jazz club, right? And John Legend's character tells him like, how are you going to be in the future if you're always living in the past? And John Legend's character has this like he's the head of like this new jazz band that's like not old school jazz. And it's like it's a more pop and all this. And Ryan Gosling like is not having it. So I think I said Ryan Gosling, by the way, the first time. If not, what can I say? Ryan Reynolds. If I did say Ryan Reynolds, I don't think I did. He and Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, I guess, just live rent free in my head and my subconscious. In all of these different things too that you absorb, like this whole thing is breaking my brain a little bit because you even think about like all the culture wars going on now and what we're seeing. And this is a little bit existential, but it's like, guys, is everything just repeating itself? Like, are we just in this cyclical pattern of things being, quote, reinvented with a fresh spin? Like nothing is that new, but everything's changing anyway. So it's sort of like, who the fuck cares, right? So the first example is the whole like late night debacle And now, like, the White House is trolling SNL because SNL did a skit that was mocking Trump and the FCC coming after Jimmy Kimmel and all this. But it's sort of like they're going round and round and even like reinstating Kimmel. And I saw Taylor Swift do an interview with him. And in my head, I'm just like, this is all changing so quickly anyway. Like, soon enough, we're going to have AI hosts, influencers, actors, as I talked about in the last episode, like late night shows that may or may not dethrone all your asses anyway. So literally, who cares? Like, it's all shape shifting and in ways becoming obsolete anyway, that I'm sort of like, they're in the weeds. This is not forward or future thinking. Like, they're in the weeds of like SNL, Jimmy Kimmel. And in my head, I'm like, y'all, it's all got a shelf life anyway. And it's all changing so quickly anyways. Like, and again, it's all like SNL hasn't been funny in Lord knows how long. Okay. Like, honestly, I don't even know. I can't even take the time out of my life to do a deep dive research on that bit. But same thing with late night. Like, late night arguably hasn't been good since David Letterman. Okay. And Johnny Carson obviously was like the GOAT. So again, it's just like regurgitating these things we've already seen. Even, dare I say, oh shit. Yes, I'm about to say it, but Taylor Swift's new album. This is actually interesting because, so I'm not a Swiftie by any means. I feel like I have a level-headed, like, normal person approach to Taylor Swift. And I actually really like this album. I actually thought it was super vibey. I think this might be my favorite. This is one like that I've actually listened to over and over. I was like, all right, Taylor Swift, like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I saw this video today that basically plays every track on the Taylor Swift album and a song that's iconic, mostly from the 2000s, that it sounds exactly like. And she was like, is this why anyone else loves this album? And I was like, holy shit. It was so spot on. Like, the beat, like every single one, except for they were all 2000 songs, except for one Jackson 5 song, that song Wood she has. That's like it's like phallic, literally about dicks, but it sounds like it sounds like I Want You Back by Jackson 5. And the other ones, though, were all 2000s, and I was like, holy shit. Like, even her song off of it, Life of a Showgirl, is my favorite song on the album. I've listened to it over and over. Maybe it's like the Brina effect. I don't know. But even that, she names all these songs like No Air by Jordan Sparks. It sounds like Cool by the Jonas Brothers. I was like, holy shit. We are living in Josie and the Pussycats, basically. Not the cartoon, the Tara Reid one. Okay. Before Tara was like unhinged and cross-eyed. No, I actually interviewed Tara and she was totally sweet, even if she is like a little unhinged. So that's something to think about too. It's like, oh, Taylor Swift's new creative original genius. And it's like, plot twist. It's all can be found somewhere on Now That's What I Call Music edition 16. So like, joke is on history and all of us. And over the weekend too, I had a lot of conversations with people in LA, friends old and new, even about politics and the Trump thing and all this. But again, kind of like pulling out, looking big picture and looking in the future, right? And just talking about how like psychotic everybody is, how everyone's lost their minds, how divided and political and heated it is right now. And it seems like the general consensus is that's because of Trump. Obviously, we all have working brains and we know that, right? Whether people love him or hate him, how much he stirs the pot or not, like, people just have this whole, like, they have made him one way or the other, whether it's MAGA or it's the left, have made him like their entire personality and like their entire Myers-Briggs breakdown. Okay. But once he goes, we kind of all landed on like, what is it looking like? Okay, JD Vance and Gavin Newsom, right? Like, neither of them are going to be Trump. Like, they can both try. And Gavin Newsom even tried with like his sad little tweets that literally were not like, it was funny once, but it's sort of like the general consensus for my conversations. And these people like completely, like, they push back on me, challenge me, like completely range in perspective and opinions. But it's sort of like we all could agree that once Trump is out, like, things will maybe calm down, because I can't see JD Vance or Gavin Newsom, if it ends up being them, both of them being this like polarizing and heated and divisive, but that you can't play this same playbook twice. Like, you can't be Trump again. You can't, it'll just like be cheesy. It'll be like Alec Baldwin trying to be him on SNL, which also wasn't funny. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the kind of original that comes around once. Again, whether you love him or hate him. So, which I think gets me to the ending here in just a bit. But that idea, again, of like really parsing out, going by the playbook and truly being original, right? And when it works and when it doesn't work. And like just really kind of being cognizant of like, have I seen this story before? I don't care if it's like Taylor Swift's album, like about Elizabeth Taylor, about Travis Kelce's cock, or a political figure, or whatever it is. It's like, have I seen this story before? And maybe we have, and maybe that's okay. Like, again, I didn't mind Taylor Swift's album. And now that I know that it's basically reminiscent of the 2000s, I'm like, right, this is why I like it. Cause I love that time. Like, it's why I like it even more. But again, whether it's what you take in or whether it's in your own life, it's sort of like, to what end? Like, yes, to Larry Namer's point, like, am I just going to take something that I know worked and is tried and true and going to put a fresh spin on it? Is it going to be totally original? Which, like, again, my thing is like, always be original, because that shit cannot be duplicated nor replicated, but with a caveat, which I'm going to get to. So just to bear it all in mind. And again, it is all changing, right? I saw comedian Eric D'Alessandro, who is really fucking funny. He does like the Staten Island Mom, and like, he's very good. But I just actually, before hopping on here, saw a video of him like wigging out, and he's playing all these AI generated videos. And they look completely real. And he's like, none of this is real. And he's kind of bugging out because he's like, we're not going to know what's real anymore. He literally said, like, it's the end of the world and all this. And the way that I used to be like this. I used to be this way. But the way that I see it, it's sort of like roll with or roll out. Again, I said it in my last episode, but it's like, even Hollywood and SAG and all these people flipping out because there's an AI actress who's literally going to come for their thrones and their Oscars and their representation at WME. But the way I see it, it's like survival of the fittest. And Larry Namer said it when he was on my show last week. He said, like, AI is only going to basically like parse out and weave out the people and the things that were not that creative or good to begin with. It's sort of like, it's like I see, it's like survival of the fittest. So me personally, I'm not worried about competing with a robot. Like, a robot can never be the human that we are and that touch that we bring. So I welcome it. It's like, the more the merrier, capitalism and competition, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to get spiritual woo-woo about it, it's like abundance, So it's kind of funny to see all these people like scrambling. Cause again, I used to think like that, but I welcome it. It's like, great. It's a tool. It's conversation. It'll make for things that are interesting. But me personally, like, again, I ain't worried about throwing down with the robot. I'm going to, if anything, like, use it to your advantage and make it work for you. But just like, try not to take it that personally. Just like I told these college kids about when a celebrity might feel a type of way and be a dick to you, like, they will just be like that. They are so guarded and protected and extra and handled like it's not about you. Just don't take it personally, So my main takeaway, I'm trying to read my notes here. Okay, yes. So now I'm kind of grappling with like, all right, kind of what I said, like living in the past and having appreciation and loving nostalgia in the past, and also being forward thinking and doing things no one else is doing, right? And the beauty in that. And whether it be like truly original or even tying the two together, even like a Taylor Swift did, like, I'm not mad at it, her album, right? Even like something what she did. But here's my main takeaway, right? One of the kids in the class, again, asked me, how did you, because I really detailed my beginnings and how I did take huge risks. I was, again, reporting and under contract by these huge outlets, and on the side pursuing my vision at those very events, pursuing my own vision and doing things my way that was totally out of the box, unlike what these people were used to, and worried, that I was going to piss somebody off, ruffle feathers, that I'd get a slap on the wrist, that I'd get caught, that I'd get in trouble, I'd be breaching my contract, I'd get sued, you name it. And one of the girls asked me today, like, how did you have the balls to pursue your brand? She didn't say the balls. I just like added that for dramatic effect, embellished it a little bit. But how did you really do that? And I told her, when you, and again, for you guys too, like, not to be like Mel Robbins here, like all the Robins, with cleavage popping today, evidently, to really have that vision. And I told them I didn't care in pushing through it too. Like, I said to them, that's fake. When everyone's like, oh yeah, go for it. Meh, meh, meh. Like, that just feels fake to me. I was like, there are times when my voice or my hands were a little shaky or my legs were a little wobbly, but I pushed the fuck through and just did it, and really sticking to that vision and that why. Again, in a time when there's so much going on, there's so much competing, it's confusing, we won't know what's real, we're bombarded all of the time. Seeing that vision and sticking to that vision. And I knew, like, at the time, I stuck to the end game. I didn't get in the weeds of every little mishap, every little event. I was like, who cares? At the end of the day, I can see that vision. And this little misstep or this little thing gone awry, at the end of the day, it's not going to fucking matter. Right. And just really sticking true to that, and having, again, like, even if it is sort of gimmicks or something, the guy with the hot wings, whatever it is, but if there's something, there has to be that authenticity and legs underneath. Otherwise, it'll be like the girl in Drake with Bed. It goes up and it comes down. Like, it has to have that foundation, of something that is so true and so real. And I'm using this word again, and I hate it, but authentic, to carry that vision through and to really see it through. And again, to not get caught up with all of the bullshit in the way. And I think that is what is so key. Like, they asked me, what do you feel like is missing right now? Like, and it's hard to say, right? Because it's like, it's all been said and done and we're exhausted, like everyone and their mom. But I really do feel like that is what is missing. And again, it's okay if it's a marriage of, being inspired by something else and your own spin on it. Like, that's okay. But I feel like what is missing is people with true message and vision, who are so, even if it's offbeat or quirky or curious or whatever it is, that is so authentically them. And they have that mission and they have that vision that they're going to see it through to fruition. Like, I feel like that is so fucking rare, because everybody is trying to stroke the dick of the game, of the algorithm, of what works, and sort of be like everybody else. And when you think about, like, I know he's my GOAT, but Tom Brady, and I saw a clip of him recently saying, like, we get so tied up in what everybody else is doing. Like, who cares? Like, stop caring about what everybody else is doing. And again, it's not always the easy route. Clearly, you're going to get pushback, you're going to get rejection, you're going to get all of this shit, but it's like, stop caring about what everybody else is doing. That's why when it comes down to, like, oh, the numbers, this, and the algorithm, that, it's like, how about fuck right off? And I really think about, again, like, when you think about being in the future, like that, and operating in that, that's what really takes true guts. Not playing to an algorithm and doing some dance like a monkey. Like, seeing things that everybody else thinks are crazy and are insane, that's what takes guts. I think about the people like the Steve Jobs, the Andy Warhols, the Joan of Arcs, the Nikola Teslas, the Einsteins. Everyone thought that they were crazy in the beginning, right? I just interviewed the pastor recently. How about a tried and true example, but Jesus? There you go. It doesn't get holier than that. And again, really sticking to Van Gogh, another one of my absolute favorites, right? Really, really sticking to that vision. That is not like everybody else. And you know what? You may eat a lot of shit along the way. And the thing with these examples, Van Gogh, Nikola Tesla, right, Jesus arguably, is they lived out, they weren't like everybody else. They lived out their vision regardless of the repercussions. And sadly, some of them didn't get to see their fame, their notoriety, them being icons and revolutionaries and their dreams come to fruition. They didn't get to see it. And so I want you to leave today and ask yourself, if that were you, if you knew that you lived your vision, maybe it's post-death that it becomes revolutionary. Maybe you won't get to actually see the fruits of your labor or see it, but would you be okay with that? Ask yourself that. Me, I would rather that than placating to some arbitrary, robotic bullshit algorithm. But hey, that's just me. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining, sticking around, and see you then. Good night. Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
It might flash you on TikTok.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
And I too am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
messing around?
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor.